So for any effective marketing strategy, you have to be able to track analytics and performance to see if things are working. And when it comes to Instagram hashtags, that is no different. But we know that a ton of people really struggle with tracking their hashtags and their strategy to see if it's working and to see what it's actually bringing their account. And we here at Flick are Instagram hashtag nerds. We give you all the tools to find the right hashtags, but we also help you with tracking your hashtags and your performance. So in this video, we're gonna help you track your Instagram hashtag performance and strategy better by breaking down the different KPIs that you wanna focus on when it comes to Instagram hashtags. And this stuff is crucial for modifying your strategy and making sure you're squeezing everything you can out of your reach on Instagram from hashtags. And we've seen personally the accounts that actually track these KPIs, key performance indicators, and use it to modify their hashtag strategy can perform up to 40% better and reach 40% more people on Instagram, which is all things we know that you wanna do. So today we're gonna help you do it. What's going on? It's Ben here from Flick, your destination for Instagram domination. And today we're talking all about Instagram hashtags and more specifically Instagram hashtags, analytics, or KPIs that you wanna focus on. So what really separates Flick from almost any of the tools out there is how much information we give you even when it comes to your Instagram hashtags. So we give you a ton of different metrics to really see exactly how your strategy is performing and which hashtags are bringing you the most performance when you use them. And we do that by giving you a few different KPIs that you can focus on that will actually make a big difference in your overall strategy. The first one is ranking ratio. And we know that it can be really difficult to track which hashtags you're actually ranking on when you're using a ton of different tags, which you should be to keep the tags relevant to each piece of content. It's a nightmare to go to each tag and actually track which one's working versus which ones aren't. So we do that work for you. And with ranking ratio, we're telling you the following. This metric shows you the number of times you have used a hashtag against the number of times that you've ranked on that hashtag. By looking at your ranking ratio performance on a set of hashtags you've used, you can determine which ones you consistently perform highly on and utilize them in your future strategy. So for example, if you have a very low ranking ratio on a specific hashtag, you may want to swap that out for one that you could get better performance with, and you wouldn't know that without this tool. So by consistently paying attention to your ranking ratio, you can make sure you're constantly using your best performers across your content to grow faster. And I can already hear the question, what is a good ratio? What is a bad ratio? And how do I even track this? Don't worry, we got you covered. A ranking ratio above 15% is ideal. Above 40% is good. Above 60% is great. And above 80% is excellent. That is top tier status. And to make sure you're getting accurate information for your ranking ratio, you want to make sure to use the tags that you're really trying to focus on enough time so we can collect enough data to give you some solid feedback as to how it's performing. And you can find all of this and more on Analytics Pro on Flick. So this way you can avoid trying to calculate your ranking ratio manually. And if you've yet to sign up for Flick and you want to give it a try to access some of these numbers, you can access a free week trial on us through the link in the description box and the pinned comment. And that free trial will give you all of these numbers that we're running through in this video. The next KPI when it comes to hashtags is times used. And like we mentioned earlier, it's important to use the tags that you're targeting enough times so that you can actually see if you do have an opportunity to rank over time, because you don't want to make any too hasty decisions based on quick feedback. And instead you want to take more of a holistic approach. And the times used feature is a great way to see if you've given enough opportunity to that hashtag to see if it should stay or go. The times used metric will show you exactly how many times you have used a specific hashtag on your account without you having to keep track manually. And how do you measure times used and use that number effectively to make a decision on specific tags? You should be using a hashtag at least 7 times before you determine whether it is performing well for your specific account. Again, that number is at least 7 times. You want to try it on relevant content. And remember to consider the competitiveness of certain hashtags when you are analyzing your results, because this will play a huge factor in terms of how you actually view the numbers that are being presented to you. For example, if you ranked once out of 7 times for a super competitive hashtag, that's actually really great news, because if you ranked even 1 of the 7 times that you've used it, it may be one that you want to keep using because of those high potential returns. So definitely try to remember to use all of the metrics that we give to you about specific hashtags to provide some context to the times used number to really make the best decision for each specific hashtag. Next KPI is hashtag impressions. And this is probably the most popular metric when it comes to tracking hashtag performance, because this number is available pretty easily directly on Instagram. You can swipe up on existing content in order to see how your group of hashtags has performed overall in terms of getting eyes on your content. And this helps to give you a general idea as to how your hashtags are performing overall. So how do you break down this information and use it effectively? First, it's important to give your post enough time to actually collect impressions once you've posted it. This means you should give the post at least a full day to get enough impressions to really break down what the numbers are telling you. And why it's so important to give your post this time is because your post post may gain some traction over time, which gives it enough momentum to start ranking on more competitive tags, bringing in more impressions from hashtags. So give it some time and it'll provide way more accurate feedback. To find your hashtag impressions, just click View Insights on the post you want to analyze, and you should be able to see the different channels you gain impressions from, hashtags being one of them. If your impressions are relatively low, it means that you probably haven't ranked on any of the hashtags you've used. Again, consider this metric as part of a bigger picture before you decide whether removing this hashtag will improve your strategy. And that's the major downside when it comes to hashtag analytics right on the Instagram app, is it only gives you a very general view of how your hashtags are performing and not how specific tags are performing. And that's what we help you out with over at Flick to make specific, better decisions. But hashtag impressions overall is definitely a KPI that you want to keep an eye on. The next KPI when it comes to hashtags is average best rank. And when you rank on a hashtag, you can either sit in the top 9, top 25, top 50, or top 100 posts, and it's still considered ranking. If you're able to reach the top 9 of your post, you'll be seen by a greater number of people, obviously because it's higher up within that tag. So your goal is to rank as high as possible within hashtags to maximize potential impressions. And how do you measure this KPI? So it's great to rank on any hashtag, but ideally you want to be ranking as high as possible. So using this number can really give you a better idea as to which hashtags that you should keep around. And again, with this, you want to make sure to use hashtags enough times so you actually get enough feedback to make the right decision. And your average best rank will tell you which position you rank on average for any specific tag. You want to make sure you're ranking as high as possible, so definitely keep an eye on this number. Next KPI is posts made. There are a ton of different factors that go into ranking on a hashtag, and one of that comes down to competition, and one of the factors that goes into competition is posts made. And this number will tell you how many posts already exist that have used the hashtag that you're trying to rank for. And this can be a great indicator of overall competition and give you a better idea as to if you could rank for it or not. And how do you use posts made most effectively? So you can access this information within Analytics Pro, but you can also see it directly on Instagram by just searching up hashtags directly. And how you want to use this number is if you are a smaller account, you might want to try to use hashtags with lower posts made overall, for example, under 100,000 posts, as these tend to be less competitive hashtags, giving you a better opportunity to actually rank versus tags that may have 1 million or more, which is obviously going to be more competitive because more people are using it. But we consistently find having a good mix of high, medium, and low competition tags is the best approach for strategy, but using this metric is a great way to actually determine what is low, medium, and high. The next stat we're going to break down is DAPC, and this stands for daily average post count. And just like tweets on Twitter or YouTube videos on YouTube or TikToks on TikTok, things can go viral on Instagram, and one of the ways that things do go viral is through hashtags. So by using a hashtag that is currently trending, that can help to really push your content further by riding that wave. And daily average post count is a great way to see if a hashtag is currently trending based on how many people are using it on a daily basis. So think just like TikTok, how you would look for a trending sound or a trend overall. By using trending hashtags on Instagram, you can get the same kind of effect for your page. And DAPC is a great way to see if something is trending. And so how do you actually measure these numbers? The DAPC numbers are available both in our Analytics Pro on Flick, as well as our classic hashtag research tool. DAPC takes an average of the number of posts published in a given hashtag across the last 7 days. If the DAPC of a hashtag is high at a specific time, it may mean that that hashtag is currently trending. So if your content relates to it and it's a trending topic, you should probably use it. And if you're trying to come up with content ideas, you could search for hashtags with high DAPCs and try to create content that makes sense for your brand and your page around that hashtag. That's a quick bonus pro tip to keep in mind for growing on Instagram and creating better content. And if you are looking to grow on Instagram, which I'm certain you are because you're still here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel right here, because we here at Flick post weekly free videos to help you use Instagram better and grow faster. So don't forget to click that subscribe button so we can hang out every single week and crush it on IG. The next stat that you need to keep in mind when it comes to hashtags is average likes. And this one's pretty straightforward. The average likes of a hashtag is the average amount of likes that the top performing posts get in a specific hashtag. And when it comes to your average likes, it's a rough average of how many likes your typical content will receive when you post on Instagram. And this is a really important number to keep in mind because this is going to give you a way better specific idea as to if your account has a good opportunity to rank for a specific tag. Because if your engagement is way lower than the typical ranking posts, that's a solid indicator that it may be difficult for you to rank on that tag. So for example, if you get 600 likes on your posts, you're more likely to rank on a hashtag that has an average like count of 300 than you are with one that has 1500. First, get an idea for your average like count and then use that number to make better decisions with which hashtags you use over time. And again, diversity is the name of the game here, so it's a great idea to have a good mix of low competition tags and high competition. And once again, some of the metrics that we are covering in this video are only available within Flick's Analytics Pro suite. So if you do want to try that out for yourself, you can access a free week trial using the link down below. So if you want to see some of these numbers for your specific account, go ahead and do that. If not, no problem. we still love you. And the final metric that you want to keep an eye on when it comes to hashtags is profile views. And why this number is really important to keep an eye on is because if people don't actually come visit your profile, they can't follow you and they can't become a long-term consumer and engager of your content. So even if you're getting millions and millions of impressions via hashtags, if people aren't coming to actually visit your profile, it doesn't really move the needle. So by keeping an eye on this number, you can work to get it as high as possible and outline opportunities for improvement. If you're getting a ton of impressions, but not many profile views, there's probably a problem. And this might be something that's easily remedied through something like a better call to action or a more consistent use of call to actions to actually get people over to your profile. And these little tweaks can go such a long way in helping you to grow far faster, but you don't notice the need to change these things or the opportunity to change these things if you don't keep an eye on the numbers. So definitely keep an eye on your profile views. It's a huge number that you need to pay attention to. And finally, how do you actually break down this number to determine what's good versus bad? To see your profile views from a specific post, head to the post on your feed that you want to analyze. From here, tap on View Insights, and you should see the number of profile visits you received from that post. You can also find this information in your Flick account under the Analytics tab. And within Flick, you'll find your profile views, but also how your numbers compare to your competitors, which is definitely something to keep in mind because you want this number to be as high as possible to grow as fast as possible. So those are the core metrics that you want to focus on when it comes to using your hashtags on Instagram to make sure you're making the best decisions consistently over time to continue to grow and do so faster. And obviously we here at Flick are obsessed with Instagram hashtags and giving you analytics to make better decisions. And if you haven't tried Flick out yet, but you want to, there is a free week trial linked down below, as I've mentioned throughout this video. And if you're looking for some more help with hashtags in general to really learn more about them and become a fellow hashtag nerd, we made an entire video, which we call our 2022 Instagram hashtag guide that I've linked right here. So if you go click that, it'll take you over to that video and you will learn a ton. So go ahead and click that. I'll see you over there. I can't wait for you to become an Instagram hashtag nerd just like me. All right, I'll see you over there. Keep crushing it. Peace.